Let's open this up, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to get our reporters in from on the ground also who are going to be discussing what is happening because the big ticket item is the guests who have come in, the people who have joined us from all over the world. You're seeing their photographs on your screens. The Nepalese Prime Minister is here. The Bangladeshi Prime Minister is here. The Maldivian President is here. The Mauritian Prime Minister is here. The Sri Lankan Prime Minister is here. They are all here. They're all going to be conducting meetings, but primarily they'll be there at the swearing-in ceremony in Rashtrapati Bhavan, seated up front and center. You're going to see a display of protocol take place this evening at the Rashtrapati Bhavan, like one gets to rarely see. The Bhutanese Prime Minister, as you can see on your screens, has also arrived. All of them have come either last evening or today morning, and they're going to be there at this gala ceremony. 9,000 plus attendees at this ceremony. Let me quickly open up this conversation. Joining us now in our studios, I have Alok Mehta, Editorial Director of India News, Rajalakshmi Joshi joining us, Gautam Mukherjee with us, George Kurian with us, Gargi Nandi Roy in the studios with me as well. Alokji, let me kick this off with you because obviously we know Narendra Modi is taking oath today, but we're expecting a few others as well. Are you going to hazard a guess on who the others are going to be?
Rishabhji, thank you very much, but I think it's no surprise in this cabinet. That's why the question of confidence. You see, yesterday also Prime Minister mentioned about it, that we believe in confidence, give confidence and get confidence. That's why I think this is the first part, maybe after a few weeks, maybe after the parliament session or so, whenever Prime Minister will feel, then it will expand. Otherwise, what we have seen since morning, the very choosy, very politically and NDA, you can find from the photographs itself, in Prime Minister House on tea. Only problem, I think you must have, because I just now joined, NCP is missing there because the problem of the Praful Patel and their party. So that's why maybe they will sort out, because there are problems inside, and maybe sometime it happens that, frankly speaking, because for majority there will be no problem. 16 independent members, I think it will be like a breaking news for our viewers. 16 independent members very soon will join this NDA. It will be in a question of days.
It is absolutely right. There are some smaller parties also been reduced to 1 or 2 MPs, and although they are parties, maybe that the state and centre, they might find their political future elsewhere. It's almost inevitable that the NDA numbers are going to go up, they're not going to go down. The going down potential has only been a little bit with Ajit Pawar, that's one seat. So it's going to go up, whether some of them, but Alokji, one thing is of course fundamentally different, that we've seen that the swearing in for the ministers takes place separately and the swearing in for the Prime Minister takes place separately. Today we are expecting that at least a set of ministers, maybe 10 or 15 are going to be sworn in today.
I think most of the senior cabinet minister will take oath, and Prime Minister always, because he is the number one, first he will take, and then the selected cabinet members, they will take oath. But I think this is a very good gesture. 9,000 people are joining in Rashtrapati Bhavan.
Yes.
I remember 1977 it started, after opposite the Rashtrapati Bhavan started. So these kind of gesture, inviting even the workers, media people are also there. But I think the Prime Minister approach, and he already started. You see, just now we were talking about the Maldives, Nepal and Sri Lanka. So you can imagine, even the designated Prime Minister started working since yesterday, after the meeting of the Prime Minister, President. And then this type of communication with NDA people, he did a meeting. Normally earlier days, what I remember from Mrs. Gandhi days to Atal Bihari Vajpayee and Manmohan Singh cabinet, I have seen tea ceremony almost after the cabinet oath. But Prime Minister Narendra Modi started this gesture, that he will just brief and call them on tea. So there is no surprise or no shocking for them. Okay. And maybe few members like Ravi Shankar Prasad, Rajiv Pratap Rudy or Anurag Thakur is missing there. So they will get some more organization work, because you don't, everybody is not necessary to be in the cabinet. That's why you have to sacrifice from his own party.
So people remember Amit Shah was not in government in the first 5 years. He was left with the BJP. He's only in the second term of Narendra Modi that he got into government. JP Nadda was in government, was sent back to the BJP for 5 years. Maybe there's more than a fair chance he gets to government. You're seeing people on your screens and many are suspecting that might indeed be the cabinet. In fact, you're seeing several former chief ministers there sitting on your screens also. You see a very interesting sight of H.D. Kumaraswamy sitting there also as an ally or as a future minister, who knows. But that's indicative to you to who all was there. Shivraj Singh Chauhan there, he just won a landslide from Vidisha. You can see Hardeep Puri there, part of the previous cabinet. Arjun Ram Menghwal there, part of the previous cabinet. Ravneet Bittu lost his Lok Sabha seat from Punjab, but he's there. Jitin Prasada won from, let's see what happens with him. Yeah. Nirmala Sitharaman certainly there. You're seeing Dharmendra Pradhan there. He's done an excellent job for the team in Odisha. Jyotiraditya Scindia sitting there as well. Manohar Lal Khattar, former Chief Minister of Haryana. Obviously, you're seeing Dr. Jaishankar, who's been the Union Minister for External Affairs. He's there. Dr. Jitendra Singh, I can see sitting there as well. I think I see Ashwani Vaishnav there sitting there as well. Piyush Goyal, as I already mentioned, is sitting there. Obviously, Rajnath Singh and Amit Shah also there on your screens. So in rough total...
Can I mention about the Ramnath Thakur, the son of Karpuri Thakur. Very honest person. When Karpuri Thakur is the ideal. He got the Bharat Ratna. And inducted Ramnath Thakur, very simple person. He was also leader of the Rajya Sabha. And Karpuri Thakur refused to give him a ticket when he was the chief minister, the president of the party. He said, no, if you give ticket to my son, then I will not join, I will not contest the election. These kind of family also joined in this cabinet. I feel proud that India has such a honest person in the top level.
Okay, all right, okay. Something my PCR crew is having a problem with speaking on Zoom. I'll get that sorted out. Apologies for that interruption. Breaking developments, meanwhile, coming our way. The Nepalese Prime Minister, Pushpa Kumar Daha, has now arrived in Delhi. You can see the latest visuals there on your screens. My colleague Akshit is on the road outside Ashoka Road. Meanwhile, let me take a flavor check of what's happening on the ground with Akshit. I'm being told that former Prime Minister H.D. Devagowda will also be there this evening at the oath-taking ceremony. Akshit, meanwhile, what's happening at Ashoka Road? How are the preparations going?
Well, yes, Rishabh, all eyes set on the oath ceremony, which is going to take place at Rashtrapati Bhavan at 7:15 p.m. today. Well, a mammoth oath ceremony, which will be attended by almost 8,000 dignitaries. And yes, you rightly mentioned Nepal's Prime Minister has also landed in the national capital to attend the ceremony. And not only him, but also, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Maldives President Mohammad Muizzu has landed at a time when, India and Maldives are having a frosty relationship. This is all in sync with the neighborhood first policy of the Indian government, which Prime Minister Modi has earlier also stated that he has made neighborhood first as a core component of his foreign policy. So, of course, the 7 world leaders have been invited for the grand ceremony. And meanwhile, when we also talk about the oath ceremony, then hectic political negotiations are taking place because earlier in the day, we know how TDP and JDU leaders have met the Prime Minister during the tea ceremony. So all eyes are now also fixated on who all will be inducted in the cabinet in the Modi 3.0, because that's rather important as to how that balancing act will be maintained.
Okay, all right, Akshit. Keep us updated. Akshit, of course, standing on Ashoka Road outside what used to be the headquarters of the Bharatiya Janata Party. And just down the road from there, of course, at Rashtrapati Bhavan, where we'll be seeing very shortly the swearing-in ceremony start off. You're going to see a lot of protocol in action because heads of state are there, president will be there, vice president. You can expect Chief Justice, Supreme Court judges, they're all going to be there. A lot of the ambassadors to India, high commissioners to India, they'll be there. And a whole host of other dignitaries, 9,000 plus people, we're being told, is part of the guest list. Subsequently, immediately after that, we are expecting Narendra Modi as Prime Minister to be hosting a dinner for the heads of state and heads of government that have arrived in India, especially for this. The visuals on your screen remain important because that is, one is assuming potentially the next cabinet of India. You're seeing Jayant Chaudhary also sitting there in the third row. Chirag Paswan is also there. So whether all of them make it to cabinet, we'll find out. Whether all of them are going to be sworn in today, maybe. Could be. We will find that out very shortly. It might just be 15 swearing-in ceremonies today. More might take place later on. We don't know the exact schedule. I'm not going to assume to know the exact schedule because only a few people, you can be guaranteed, know exactly who's doing what today and are probably watching us speculate with a smile on their lips. Let me quickly get Gautam Mukherjee into this conversation. Gautamji, do you expect now pretty much who we've seen in the morning to attend the meeting? Roughly, that's the cabinet of Narendra Modi 3.0?
I think it's going to happen in stages. Some people today, some people possibly tomorrow. Let us understand, we have a huge Council of Ministers, 62 or 64 ministers in all, maybe more. So it is quite easy to accommodate various from the allies as well as people around the ones that are with the BJP. I think there will be some degree of shuffling. I'm looking forward to seeing who replaces JP Nadda as president of the party. I'm hoping that it might be Shivraj Chauhan. We need to get back into sync with the RSS, and Shivraj Chauhan is the right person to get that done, because he has never shirked his identity as a Karyakarta. After winning in Vidisha and delivering every single seat from Madhya Pradesh, he must have said in the interview I watched that I'm a Karyakarta from the word dot for the last many years.
Okay.
He must have said that 10 or 12 times.
Okay. So he's setting themselves up. We are not setting up anyone. Okay. So you're going to hear people making suggestions, recommendation. I promise you, only a couple of people know exactly what is going to go is happening, and the rest is open for speculation. On your screens right now, the latest visuals of the Nepalese delegation that has arrived. There on your screens is the Nepalese Prime Minister who's arrived. Lakshmi Joshi, let me bring you in. You've seen the images, you've seen the list, I'm sure. Roughly, that's the cabinet.
Yes. Last time round, PM Modi had 72 ministers with the entire ministry that was there with all the expansions. And what I understand is 81 is the maximum number. So this time around, I think that right now, like you rightly said, one part of it could be sworn in today, and then there will be a lot more expansions in the future. So that is why, there's always room for expansion in all these ministries. So, and also the number of ministries also, that actually there is no binding on the number of ministries. So what I see here is a picture of inclusiveness, and at the same time there doesn't seem to be any compromise as such on the quality.
Okay.
So that is how I see it.
I'm going to do it name by name. Let me get Ms. Roy into this. Gargi Roy, what do you make up? People we've seen on our screens. I'm going to discuss the international flavor of this in just a bit. But the people we've seen on our screens, roughly the cabinet, not all of them might be sworn in today. Maybe 10, 15, maybe it could be all, we don't know at this point of time.
Yes, thank you for inviting. We all know the main four of the ministries on Cabinet Committee on Security obviously will be with the BJP, the Home, Defence, Finance and External Affairs and all. So that will be, I feel even with Education, Parliamentary Affairs, I&B, Culture, these also BJP will retain.
Correct.
Yes, they have to give, say JDU, say maybe Lalan Singh might get. JDU might get railway, but these are just speculations that JDU might get railway, and somebody from TDP, that Ram Mohan Naidu might get a cabinet berth. There was a Chandrasekhar, somebody from TDP again may get a MOS. But BJP, I think it will be a very stable government, and the opposition is talking many things. I don't see that government to be topsy-turvy or anything, because we have history of coalition government, and Modi ji has given us stable government. So it will be a very stable government, I believe.
Yes.
And the work will continue. And about Shivraj Singh Chauhan, I feel he might be given a cabinet berth, and
I think
have
he's more headed to government than to BJP.
I have a gut feeling Amit Shah can again become the party president. That's just a
anything is possible.
And that I feel that Amit Shah can be the party president.
Maybe not. Let me get Manasvi into this. Manasvi, we are seeing a slight change of schedule in the sense of what happened last time around, where we saw only principally the Prime Minister swearing in and the Minister swearing in on a later date. Today, we are expecting at least 10 or 15 of the principal ministers to be swearing in. That obviously is a signaling of a show of unity, because, ladies and gentlemen, if a few of the ministers had not sworn in today, then the assumption would have been made that there is some disagreement going on in cabinet, some jhagada is going on, tutu meme is going on, bargaining is going on. So, by swearing in the ministers today, does that stop?
see what is going to happen here is this is going to be as the Prime Minister used to say, a khichdi sarkar. So it has come out to be a khichdi sarkar from his point of view also, because 240 plus the others which he has to manage, the NDA which is there, and I feel he's going to make a super NDA apart from TDP and JDU. He's going to add on another people also in the NDA part of the government. But in terms of ministry, he has to make sure that he can tell his members of his political party that guys, you have to wait for this season. We'll have to see in the next election. But this round, we'll have to show that unity. We need TDP, we need JDU. So adjusting the alliance is more important than adjusting the BJP members. So that would be the priority this time. So this and the later expansion is obviously going to take place.
Okay.
But the important ministries will be taken care by BJP themselves. But it would be a good share and mixture of TDP getting some good ministries and JDU getting some good ministries.
Yeah,
that
but
is going to be there.
I think, of course, bit of the pragmatic politics that Manasvi is referring to, yes, it's pragmatism. You can call it khichdi or not, but it is pragmatism, is going to matter. But Alok Mehta, do you really think that a PM Narendra Modi is going to be weighing in political calculations very heavily? Or will he be saying that, look, there are some principal ministries and there are some meritorious ministers who I'm definitely retaining, and those principal ministries have to stay with people because I have a style of functioning that does not compute politics in ministerial functioning?
Rishabhji is a very much very workaholic Prime Minister. So, and that's why I started about the confidence. These important ministries may be bane. We can't predict because it's a prerogative of the Prime Minister. Maybe even one or two can shift from one ministry to other. 4 ministry, Home Ministry, and that's why I differ with our guest. Home Minister, because Nyaya Samhita will be implemented from 1st of July. Yes. We need a Home Minister who was the, I think, the major part of this new laws for India. These kind of changes, what they do, and the challenges, now the opposition is also strong. So I don't think that Amit Shah ji will be shifted as a organization. I am not that's why there is a party decision. But here, because of our viewers, we should also explain about it. And the Finance Ministry, maybe Nirmala ji will take over, or Piyush Goyal is also a very good contender. That's what I'm saying. That Piyush Goyal, he was a Commerce and Minister, and maybe he will be shifted if they need it. Otherwise, the railway also, I feel, because the Ashwini Vaishnav, what he was doing, to do the follow-up, they need a professionals like S. Jaishankar. What India achieved in the leadership of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, because these kind of, Hardeep Puri, he was also from Foreign Ministry, but urban development is all over the world. Rishabhji, I think our other guest, Raj Lakshmi ji is aware, architect field. Number of world countries, they are interested to come in the real estate. These kind of, same thing, railway. Civil aviation is there because civil aviation almost is the private sector, but building more airports. These kind of combination, the professionals, and Shivraj Singh, like I belong to this state and I know when he was a youth Morcha, Yuva Morcha is from a small worker. So he is a fit for rural development or these kind of agriculture, or even the education is also important for BJP. And sometimes there is a feeling that we should more focus on education and employment.
Okay,
that's why.
And of course there's health. So, my gut reaction would say that there is a percentage of politics in it. There's not only percentage of inter-party politics in an alliance, as Manasvi is referred to. There's also percentage within the party of various camps. There are various states that need to be accommodated. For example, Ravneet Bittu is sitting there. He is technically lost his Lok Sabha election, but he's still been invited because, of course, there has to be a representation of Punjab as well. Several names have come. Just hang a second, ma'am. I'm coming to you. Several names have come my way. I'm going to read them out in just a short while. And whether those names are simply attendees swearing in today. But one fundamental thing, and I want you to remember this because that's the only real change is happening, that a list of the ministers are swearing in together with the Prime Minister. And the reason that is happening is to end the speculation. Because there are many people who will say exactly khichdi, they are being unable to come up with a list. So 2-3 days negotiation is going on. I honestly think that the negotiation has ended very, very rapidly, and it's been primarily left to Narendra Modi to figure out who should get what and what the balance should be. Ms. Roy wants to make an interjection. Go ahead, ma'am.
Yes, Manasvi just mentioned khichdi government. I know Manasvi. He's a nice person. He leans towards Congress. Manasvi, when did Congress last have 240? Congress's 3-term, 2014, 19 and 2024, even if you add up, it doesn't become 240. So I think this kind of remark, it is not a khichdi. BJP is quite strong. Yes, the mandate is for Modi ji, maybe a little restrained mandate. You can say it's a restrained mandate, but the mandate is for Modi ji. So history has been created. Accept that, that history. Third time he is becoming the Prime Minister, and he is the largest party in the alliance. So accept that. And coming to a candidate, Rishabh ji, I want to say, I think certain faces BJP will need a Jat face, because I think Jats have not been annoyed. So that and a Brahmin face maybe.
Yeah, there will be Brahmin face. So like I said, it's not necessarily all of inter-party calculation, intra-alliance calculation. They're also within the party. There are states, there are caste considerations, there are many other considerations to go. I'll let Manasvi respond, then again Mr. Kurian also. Manasvi,
so the specific question on the khichdi comes, here the dal and chawal would be lesser because BJP has the large chunk of it. But the reality is when the Prime Minister was saying 400 par, then there would have been a no khichdi sarkar. It would be a purely BJP sarkar. But when you have to adjust the alliance, and the alliance like Apna Dal is there, like
but Anupriya was already there. Anupriya was already there.
It is a khichdi. So you have to go with the dharam of this alliance. So you have to bow down to that. The mandate, which was like a pure my way of things, which my projection of Viksit Bharat of 2047, my vision of the next 5 years, have to be adjusted with alliance's vision.
Okay.
So now it's
No, they are going to have to create an alliance's vision.
My whole
just
point
hang a
is
second.
khichdi can be a great sarkar. I feel this can become a very good sarkar.
I don't think so. I think that this is going to be as meritocratic with an adjustment. Manasvi is not completely wrong. Obviously, an adjustment is going to be made. Last time, the allies had what? The Shinde Sena had one. Okay, and the JDU had one. So, last time around when they formed the government 5 years ago, only 4 or 5 ministries were given away to allies. Obviously, it's going to be more. But do we think the principal ministries? I don't think the principal ministries are going anywhere. I don't think this is the UPA where Mamata Banerjee is going to become railway minister and then be a de facto deputy prime minister. I don't think that's happening. Rajalakshmi ji, I'm coming to you in a second. Mr. Kurian, I want to get him into this conversation. Mr. Kurian, a mandate has been given. Obviously, it will be a lot different. But why do you fundamentally suspect or even would like to suggest or even imply that this government is going to be more difficult to run? Why would it be more difficult to run?
Rishabh, the visit of our neighboring leaders to attend the swearing-in ceremony, keeping in with the highest priority accorded by India to its neighborhood first policy, is something that, is appreciable. Having said that, singling out Pakistan, because, we all form part of the global south or be it South Asia, it's important to, have good bilateral relations with Pakistan as well. So, keeping our differences aside, the government of India should have invited Pakistan also is what I personally feel, to enhance our bilateral relations.
Who in Pakistan should have come? Who's the head of state, head of government you would like to have here?
Well, it could have been the Prime Minister of Pakistan, or be the could have attended, or any diplomat representing.
No, I'm assuming the High Commissioner will be there.
But, India has to be show her. It has to send a larger message to South Asia and global South. India has to, if it has to become the superpower, it has to live up to the expectations of the neighboring states. Having said that, let me also come and say that Modi. It's a moral defeat of Modi. Everybody is talking about it. It's the talk of the town. Having said that, the government, the NDA-led government under the leadership of Modi, is going to form the 3.0 government, as you keep saying. But it's only on the mercy of JDU and Chandrababu Naidu.
No.
And so it goes without saying, because in the past the relations were not, it's on and off kind of relation that both these parties had with Narendra Modi. Having said that, I wish them all the best, my best wishes to them. But I really doubt the government will will be able to complete a full 5-year term. Because we also have the Vidhan Sabha elections in Bihar coming up next year. Before that, as we all know that Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu have been very vocal about the special status for their respective states. So these are things.
Ladies and gentlemen, they say a week is a long time in politics. Okay, so now predicting the next 5 years, I'm not going to be able to do. I'm not going to try to do, because anything can happen in the next 6 months, 1 year. Yes, many elections are due.
The picture that we see on the screens, which are making round, also it's a part of a compulsion of the Modi-led NDA government that they have to work on. That's the reason why we see this picture that is making rounds at this point in time. So I really
No,
hope that,
I don't know what pictures. If you're talking about the team meeting, Narendra Modi holds them often, and they're not videographed, but they're photographed for show. Ladies and gentlemen, so you're going to hear it because politics doesn't end just because general election is over, or political thought processes don't end. There are some people who are going to be convinced that no, nothing has changed. Obviously, something has changed. There's a difference between getting 272. It's not a moral question. It's a practical question. Okay. 272 has a constitutional validity. So let's not kid ourselves. Something is different. Now to say that this is a moral defeat, that the government is unstable, you are at the mercy of others. Well, you could argue there was a Sitaram Kesari who was sitting outside, left several governments, the largest party, held 3 prime ministers at their mercy and kept toppling their governments. Was Manmohan Singh at the mercy of Prakash Karat and Brinda Karat, who tried to topple his government, tried to get the speaker to resign, to cast a vote against him, to try to topple the government. So is it a lot more stable than that? Yeah, damn right, it's a lot more stable than that. We don't want to see any of that. Let me quickly get Rajalakshmi Joshi back into this conversation. Ma'am, you wanted to make a point, go ahead.
Yes, Rishabh, this, I don't understand this thing about this moral victory or about this Khichdi Sarkar, because see, a party that is at max, they have got 99, and even if that one lone person is going to join back, they will reach 100, which is nowhere close to 240. And even with that, they hope to be able to form the government. And so, for them, those are the winning numbers, because they have formed governments with 145 and 206, and yet, they think that that was a stable government. So for them, that is an ideal. But then they somehow seem to feel that a number of 240 is going to be a Khichdi
Ladies and
Sarkar.
gentlemen, for 5 years, we are going to be told that the government is about to fall, is about to fall, is about to fall. Okay, it's not falling.
No.
So you're going to hear it, but you're going to hear it nonetheless. Okay, so this is going to go on.
And it is a pre-poll alliance. That is something that actually...
Yeah, so it's going to
all
go
of
on.
us-
There is no such things as moral victory and defeat in
Right.
politics. Okay, you either win and form a government or you lose. You can then, the rest is all spinning it. Okay, so the BJP has performed really badly in UP. They're going to have to now figure it out because everything else is just spin. Okay, they haven't done well in Bengal. Bengal and UP is the difference between 272 and 240,
Right.
and it does make a difference. Let me get a Lok Mehta ji back into this conversation. Lok Mehta ji, on the question of some of us still convinced that I don't know, maybe Imran Khan should have been let go from house arrest and be sent to attend this swearing-in ceremony. I mean, why? What is this fascination that some people have with Pakistan?
Really, it's a very shocking because how the terrorists attack, even the last week also they did something against India. These kind of people observation about our friend from Congress party or anybody gets to talk about it, I think we should not neglect, because always India insisted that you stop terrorism, then we will talk.
Yes.
When we are not going to talk, then what if you invite somebody? You see, Nepal Prime Minister is here, the Bhutan King is here. So these kind of leaders, they come and also discuss the bilateral relations.
No, you've done something more important.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
told Pakistan you're isolated in
Yes.
South Asia.
Yeah.
That's the messaging that needs to go out.
Right.
Now we're telling Pakistan, no, please, then come and have biryani with us while you're stabbing us in the back tomorrow and day after. I mean, Nawaz Sharif has done it not once but twice. If you recall, Alok ji, where did Narendra Modi go last time when he became Prime Minister for the first time?
And even last time, first time in 2014, he invited. But now, because the situation is such, we tried our best. But even then, and that's why we want to show the world. We want isolation from all over the world, because what the terrorism they are doing, only the China is supporting some extent. Otherwise, China is also interested to have more business with us.
Okay.
Other point, just Sharifji, about the khichdi. I think khichdi is a light way. Narendra Modi
It's-
very
khichdi is
liking
good
of
for
the
you.
khichdi.
It's very healthy to have khichdi.
Very healthy, and Narendra Modi is very. Today I have written in Sunday Guardian also that he is an expert since 75. I have seen, I was posted in Gujarat. Since then, he was talking to George Fernandes, underground working, what he was doing. Then, when he was an organization member, then he was talking Jammu Kashmir, Punjab, Haryana. You can imagine Bansi Lal, the villain of the, sorry to say, but he was a very strong leader, built a Haryana itself. But even then, talking with Bansi Lal and Chotala both, this kind of communication he had long back since last 25, 30, 40 years. People think, because since yesterday people are talking on television also, because he can't work with others. But personally also I know, I have seen as a journalist and talking with him earlier days, that he is very expert to talking. That's why the success in G20 and all over the world, we are getting more support with the diplomatic efforts also from Mr. Jaishankar.
What goes into to formulate ministerial portfolios is highly complex. Why did Manmohan Singh become Prime Minister of this country, knowing full well that he could never win an election or win votes on his name? He had some credibility value and a purpose being served for the Congress party, that he was not a challenge to the leadership of the Gandhis, unlike others. And there were others available. Pranab Mukherjee was certainly available to become Prime Minister. So why wasn't he given the opportunity? You can argue this, but a lot of calculations are taken place. Nirmala Sitharaman has not even pretended that she's going to go out there and win votes. Neither has an S. Jaishankar. They've done a bit of campaigning for the party for sure, which is their duty to do. There are going to be several other people who are not winning votes in their name, some indeed who have lost the elections, that are going to be returning back in cabinet or be conducted in. Ms. Roy, but let me address the question of the poignancy of what is happening. Does this look like an inherently unstable government, that given 6 months from now, you know what might happen and the winds might change, and suddenly Chandrababu Naidu has an epiphany and Nitish Kumar goes back to what he's infamous for?
No, I don't think so. You know why? Because numbers, see, Nitish Kumar only has 12.
Yes.
Even if he goes to the other side, they have 234. It does not make a majority. So why will he go? And Nitish Kumar knows very well, see, he as a Chief Minister of Bihar, he should want a good package for Bihar. Same for Chandrababu Naidu. I think the Prime Minister will give very good packages for both the states and make the Chief Ministers happy. And Nitish Kumar knows that on the other side, it's not stable. Even if they would have, say, hypothetically, they would have formed a government, Mamata Banerjee and the likes, they can pull the plug anytime. So Nitish Kumar is intelligent enough. He knows that Mr. Modi has given a very 2 terms of stable government. He's a capable and strong leader, worldwide respected. So it will be a stable government. He will try to get maximum for Bihar. He will surely bargain, that he will do. Bargain for a plum post in the cabinet, that he will do. But he will not go to the other side, nor
Proof
will
of the pudding in the eating. If you are spending 5 years just trying to save your government from perpetual collapse, which is what happened to Manmohan Singh, who did the right thing, a very important thing, by putting his government and his personal credibility in favor of doing a nuclear deal with George Bush. To the credit of Sonia Gandhi, she backed him and they took it to the end goal of a confidence motion, despite the left being at its historic high. 60 members of parliament they had, the peak of the left in Indian politics, and unfortunately the peak was the beginning of the decline of the left, which is now vanishing rapidly from Indian politics. They'll be down to 3 or 4 MPs this time around from a peak of 60. But that happened, and that was a government that was spending a lot of its time, political energy, trying to survive. Will this be that government?
No.
Gautam Mukherjee, do you expect
This will
that
be
a
much
large
stronger
part
government.
of the next few months is going to be spent by the government just trying to survive?
No.
Let him answer, ma'am.
I think it is very, very unlikely. As far as I can sense, both Nitish and Chandrababu Naidu in the backroom talks have been reassured enough to settle down and look forward to all the manna that is going to come their way for their states and their stature. And as the time goes on, I think, as I think you mentioned earlier, more and more people will gravitate towards this alliance rather than away from it. As far as the India alliance goes, it is very doubtful that it will sustain, because its raison d'etre was to try and
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.